Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from deep profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from deep profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or bring. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything. With Vic still looking like a restless king.
Ryan once said,
trading is like going to war in a sense, right? So you don't go to war without a plan.
this is why Ryan built a proven trading plan, and it's already transforming lives. These reviews from real members say it all, directly from Trustpilot, where our members give 5-star reviews about the Substack, course, and community. Don't trade without a plan. Subscribe to Substack now. Conquer the markets.
Hey. Hang on a second. What I do? There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, I'm having computer problems here. Hang on. There we go. My apologies. Smoking the stogie like a boss. Like a boss. I hope you guys had a great day today. Everything was jamming. And it was actually a crazy day. We had a vicious sell-off right from the jump. Apparently there was some AI frothy news. Apparently the AI hype is getting a little played out. They're trying to say that needs to be a PE contraction, which I actually put a lot of posts out this weekend that talked about this exact event. Now, it doesn't mean we're not going to go back up. It doesn't mean we can't, continue to look for longs, but this market's a little frothy right now. We got, this AI hype is potentially a little overplayed. And so we're going to get into it a little bit. I got some good pictures for you guys. And I also wanted to talk about, excuse me, I just lit this. It's fantastic. It's been a while. So I also wanted to talk about how, this dump that we had today, we kind of precluded this with Bitcoin. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it in the weekend review. I said it's the lead, right? And lo and behold, she led. So kind of interesting to see how that works. Obviously, it's a little, it's not tick for tick, like I was saying. So it takes a little minute. Ashton, you got it, Piper. You got it, baby. Little Senorita, you like that? Doc, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you guys. So anyways, before we get into that, let's go ahead and let me share this screen. I'm running a little late today, guys. I was visiting my dad today, taking care of him. So, life is different right now with me playing the adult, doing a little babysitting for the parents. I guess we all get to take our turn at some point. So here I am. So anyways, follow me across all the social media channels. We got Ryan Bailey Edge. It's easy, super easy to remember, guys. Across YouTube, X, Substack, and TradingView. Got some really cool new indicators on there for those of you who haven't been there. And I got Rob working on some excellent stuff that's going to come up towards the end of this week. Don't miss your opportunity to follow me on there. Be the first to get that. If you are a Substack subscriber and you are a paid subscriber, which we've had quite a few lately, hit me up. Shoot me a DM. I will get you access to all the paid indicators. Once you're a subscriber and you get them, they're yours for good. So you don't want to miss our 80% edge play. It is on there. It is a fantastic trade. We play this at least once a week, and it's good for at least 10 or 15 points. And so it is a super solid indicator. Anytime you can get an 80% edge, you got to take the trade. So highly recommend you guys do that for sure. So make sure you follow me across these socials, like, tweet, retweet, all that stuff. Spread the love. Let's get it out there. Now, let's get into the trade plan. Now, before I pull that up, I thought this was going to be a really interesting, ordeal. So listen, you guys know yesterday I'm screaming all-time highs. I've been talking about it, and we were a stone's throw away today. And to be quite frank, I was super bullish coming into the morning, as why wouldn't I, right? So we actually, this is a perfect example of how we need to be nimble. And I even gave the heads up. I said, hey, listen, there's a lot of factors here. Here are some significant above belows. Just because my bias starts one way in the morning doesn't mean that it's going to continue that way throughout the day. So it's very important that we go over the trade plans. I thought this would be a fantastic opportunity to talk about how I'm looking one direction, but we'll also have significant levels. I'm telling you guys above, below, and it all plays out. But again, I don't always get it perfect, right? I come into the day and I'm like, hey, this is my bias. This is what's happening. But the moment we get underneath a level that essentially triggers volatility, well, it's time to change things up a little bit. So let's talk about that, because I'm actually going to show you guys how I was pointing up, but also the precautionary measures that you need to take and be paying attention to. I mean, I put this out pre-market. I put this out even before the news at 8:30 in the morning. So, things shift, and they shift fast, as you saw today. I mean, they just would not get off the neck of the S&P. I mean, it took all the way to the end of the day. They wouldn't even pop enough for us to short. It was crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and get into just show you exactly how I might come into the morning with a bias, and how you guys need to be, listen, you got to be nimble. You got to stick and move, right? I mean, otherwise they're going to break our ankles, and we can't let that happen. So let's get right into it with the context as usual, kind of bust this off. And again, I have this specifically to show you guys how to be nimble around the trade plans and just use the levels. And I think it's really important. This was a great day where I actually didn't nail the direction for the day and how we can be, how we can make it work. So our current market context, I said we're sitting at the highs. We're just chilling. Here's our target, right? The whole 9 yards. And here's kind of where it gets important, right? So yesterday, after the massive push up, we moved sideways again, staying above our significant weekly at 7,004. Dear Lord, how many times have we talked about this level? And here it is again, right? We're drifting up all night in a tight 25-point range as the market accepts value at the highs. Guys, here is another big indication for you that you really should be aware. Whenever we have a very tight overnight range, you can usually expect a fairly large day. And that's because the price contracts. Now, as we move up and we sit sideways, generally in a bullish market, that's a value acceptance, and they continue to push higher. Today, that was not the case. So I'm going to show you exactly how we determine when you needed to shift your bias. So anything, like I said, in the final thoughts right here, anything can happen with the geopolitical events taking place right now. I put it right out there. I'm like, hey, listen, here we are, but shit's popping off. We still got the government closed. I don't know if you guys knew that. We didn't even have news this morning because the government's closed again. And so here we are again with no pre-market news, which I thought was pretty wild. So it's very important to understand the levels to be above or below and stick to the plan. Only play untested levels. Be extremely patient today as we have extremely low relative volume. What's up, Bryce? Good to see you, buddy. Johan, Mott, the crew's all here, baby. That's what's up. Welcome everybody on Twitter. We got a nice little crew today. All right, so that's our market context, right? So let's start with the very first deal. Now, again, I took this picture post-market. I didn't have one before. Actually, I think I do have one before. Let me see here. Hang on. Did I save it? Give me 1 second here. Sorry, guys. That's all right. We'll just do this. It's okay. So actually, I did have this. Give me 1 second here. Maybe it didn't save. And what I could do is just show you guys this. So I'm going to pull this up. It's okay. We'll pull this up. All good. So this is our key resistance and pivot zone. This is our very first spot on the map. And this was our very first resistance here that we needed to look at. This is the breakout pivot. 70, 22, 25. This is our spot right here. See it? This is our big above below pivot for a breakout. It has been keeping a lid on things all morning. Now, I'm going to pull this over here because I was literally making content all the way into this. As you guys know, I was a little bit late today, come in here a little 5 minutes late, whatever. But once again, here was pre-market. You could see had this level for everybody. And if we bust above this, 22, we're going to go higher. But look where this is at, 04. This is the level that we were holding all day, right? And under 04 takes us to 89. Well, guess what? So obviously, as you can see from this went ahead and broke loose, but 04 was a big one for us to understand that we were above or below. I'm going to go ahead and show you this. Oh, here it is. See, getting ahead of myself. So this was our key support area. This was the very first area on the trade plan. This is the monster spot, right? This is, and again, I can't tell you guys how to trade, right? But I can give really big clues, right? Monster spot, right? So 7,004, weekly leg down, put wall, etc. This has been keeping us afloat all night. It's very important for above below. Okay, so this is right off the 1 hour chart. Very simple to see above 22, we move higher, and things kind of get shitty underneath 04. And obviously we go to 89. I thought, okay, we'll get a pop, maybe not. And then, if it fails, we come down and we play the 58. So they're 57. This is the spot I also liked a lot yesterday. If you guys recall, we talked about it. And it's funny because guys in the room actually remember that. TML, my homie, he's been an amazing trade plan trader, and he has been a fantastic addition to the room. He actually remembered this spot from yesterday. He was very patient waiting for it, which was awesome. Okay. So anyways, with that being said, I kind of gave the above below here, and you're probably thinking, well, okay, you're talking about 57. What happened to 89? Well, let me just show you guys really quick what happened to 89. There's a reason, and I actually didn't have time to cut this out here, but there's a reason why I have the actionable setups, guys. We don't just take levels just to take them because they're on the trade plan. We look for this to play on first touch, and you want to see it reclaim 97 and the weekly at 04 to confirm buyers have stepped in. That never happened. So 89 was out. The moment that it fit our actionable trade plan, we no longer had to worry about it, which was excellent. So, with that being said, that's what's up. So also, here's the other thing that kind of came into play here pre-market. Since we haven't really got to the dump yet, we had the VIX analysis, guys. So again, we had this $20 area that was huge yesterday, that smacked. And we talked about the 1651 weekly being our new big above below pivot, right? So again, I told you, everybody, if we push above 1651, the indices are going to get a slight headwind, and it can push us into the daily at 1762. Well, I didn't take a picture of it, but we actually pushed pretty hard above the 1651, and we went right to the 1762 when our buy spot came in at that 4 hour level I was telling you about, and we paused. Right. And this is our massive 1750 pivot that we've talked about time and time again. I always tell everybody, listen, if we break above this thing's going to get crazy. If it pushes above that, the ES is going to dump. And I think we all know what happened. So this was great context here. We just talked about the 1750 pivot yesterday because they sold off and then got below it. Now we push back above. I mean, these markets are all over the place, but this was a fantastic opportunity. And actually, let me just show you exactly what happened post-market. Since we're going to get into the dump here real soon, look at that. So we got above the 1650. We pushed into our monthly at 1744, pulled back nice, and we paused right here at the 1762. Then when she just dumped, she just ferociously pumped right into our spot in the $20 handle, hit this weekly to the tick, and we pulled back super nice for the end of the day rally. So kind of keep that in mind as we come into this. All right, so now we're going to talk about our 69.57 long. Look at this. Laid it out for everybody, right? This is the last line of defense, guys. 69.57, 4 hour top down, previous weekly point of control. 64 was a POC. And I tell everybody, the actionable trade plan, it played out perfect. This level actually played for well over 20 points. Guys in the room got paid off of this one. This one was super juicy, played almost to the tick, as you can see. And, but here was the real warning shot. And I was talking about this yesterday when we were on the stream. We're going to talk about it again now because everything is getting ready to come together. Look at this. Warning. A push below. This could come down considerably. If we push below yesterday's low at 41, we will traverse to 69.04. Well, I think everybody knows we went a little bit farther than that. We came into the 80s, but still, that was a great call. That was your warning shot right there. This is the last line of defense, and it was indeed exactly that. So one of the beautiful things about this too is I will show you this. Let me see, where's my SPX? Thought I had the SPX pre in here. I don't have the SPX pre-picture for whatever reason, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. But this show you right here, this level was in the SPX pre-market here. We had our weekly at 69.29. We had this 4-hour level at 27. We kind of had a 2-point zone. We came down and played this perfect. And this was great confluence for our long on ES off of that. What was the level that I lost my track of thought here? Off of 57. So again, obviously we're looking at VIX. VIX bumped its head on the monthly, pulled back. We got SPX coming into this weekly 4-hour area that we monitor, that we were talking about in our trade plan. And just to show you guys, just so you know I'm not bullshitting, here, check this out. And I do this for everybody every morning. Look, so we go ahead and let me find this. Where's SPX at? Where you at, baby? Where's my SPX at? Here we go. Boom, look at that. Oh, look at that level right there, 29. 69.29, above, below, right? And then, of course, kind of give everything else as well. But just to let you know, this is one of our key levels. And again, if we broke 69.66, she was a goner, right? Look at that arrow down there. Played out perfect. So I'm very happy with the way this worked out. This was great context for our long, and life was good for the long from 57. So no complaints there. However, as you guys know, she did end up breaking bad below, which was an extremely crazy flush because they just would not get off their neck. Now, here's something I wanted to share with you guys. As you guys know, I am a big fan of Edgeful. They are a sponsored affiliate for me. They actually, I'm on the payroll. This is my crew. I use them all the time. All right. And I push it to everybody because this whole business is based on statistics. That's why we have a process that you measure your hit rate. What is your win rate? How much money do you make off of these? What's your R to R? These are all statistics based things that our business is based off of. And this platform is based off of that as well. I thought this was a fantastic day today. It gave me a bias to actually continue to hold my short and try to get and break the IB low, which is exactly what happened. And it told us right here that the IB high formed first. There was a 77% chance that we would break the IB low first. So I'm short. Let me get short. I'm all over it, right? So I took my target to the IB low. And then this was even crazier too. So look at this. So we had an 81% chance of, because we opened inside the previous day, we had an 81% chance to hit the 70-17 and break out from the previous day session low. And they tagged it. They got it. I mean, this was a fantastic opportunity to give you a lot of conviction, to hold short with 80% conviction. And we knew we were coming down anyway, because at this point, if you're holding for this, you already knew that we had broken our critical hold zone there, which was, hang on, right here, the 57. If we were below the 57, and I'm talking about this is the last line of defense, and you got an 81% chance that you're going to hit 70-17, why would you not hold it? God, you kidding me? I mean, this is the massive spot. And we closed the 1 hour below it. We had every reason to believe that we weren't going to pop again. Get short and hold it, because you got an 80% chance it's going to work out. You don't get better numbers than that in this game. And so Edgeful has been a huge edge for me because it's helped me really stick to my conviction. A lot of times I will take my profits at significant levels because that's how my process works. I don't know when it's going to pop or where it's going to pop from, regardless if it's tested. But if I know that I have a high probability to get to, something like this, why would I not carry a runner? Or why would I not, try to shoot for that target instead of taking my partial profits on the way down? This has been a huge game changer for me. So I wanted to throw it out there. You guys should definitely check this out. It's $50 a month. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, think about this. I got short today from, I think it was about 53, and I took it down to 20, right? I mean, we're talking 30 points. Hello, $1,500 on one car. I think I can afford the $50 a month, right? So you guys should do the same. Check out the link. It's definitely worth checking out. It's a fantastic product. So anyways, not to talk about that. So let's go on to the next thing here. This is the other thing that I thought was interesting, guys. I'm always looking for stock buys, and this is one of the catalysts of the sell-off. Apparently there is some AI bubble talk as usual. Well, I would say as usual. Finally, let me say finally, because we have been riding this AI hype train for a long ass time, right? It's like, valuations became insignificant. Nobody cared anymore. It's all about the AI train and smoking the glass pipe on the way up because it doesn't matter. We're going to the moon, right? Well, at some point in time, this all has to catch up with everybody. And so, this news was on every single stock across TradingView. I was actually at my dad's today at his rehab center. We was watching Fox Business, whatever. They were talking about how the AI, the hype is starting to die down. They have something called a PE compression, which basically means, guys, these are overvalued stocks, right? So look at this is Salesforce. Salesforce is down over 50%. This was a huge level for me to buy. Obviously, I was kind of, testing the waters down here. We ended up coming much lower than this. Microsoft is way down. Oracle is way down. Oracle's way down here now. It fell far today, right? Because its whole infrastructure is basically built on the fact that ChatGPT or OpenAI is going to do all these data centers and stuff. And to be quite frank, they're not winning the AI race right now. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys how I thought it was interesting how this correlation goes into everything. Our big mega cap stocks are getting punched in the face right now. And are they on sale? Hell yes, they're on sale. Is it a right time to buy? I don't know. I'm a little sketched out by some of these because when you pull the chart back, man, they're really far up here. Like Microsoft, I got to look into Microsoft and I'm like, damn, $400. Like this is pulled back kind of nice. It's like 30%. But when you pull back the chart, it's still super far up there. And the same thing for Salesforce. Salesforce actually has been around $200 multiple times. It was this price in 2020 as well. And obviously it spiked to like, I don't know, 380 or something. And now it's back down. But again, when you pull the chart back, it is way up there. So anyways, this really, this has a lot to do with the S&P, but we'll get back into the trade plans, but I thought it was very important for you guys to understand another catalyst of what is happening in the market. People are starting to rotate out of tech and actually into value stocks. I saw that a lot of the Russell stuff wasn't as down as bad today. It's not bleeding as bad because these are really a lot less volatile and more value, So, these are not as juiced and, depending on your long-term positioning, that may be a good place to go if we are expecting volatility. So we'll see. So last but not least, let's go ahead and get into this. All right. Last but not least, where are we looking at? So this was interesting. So I called the final prime buy location area. Unfortunately, I was gone for this one. I was visiting my pops and actually Chartwalker, Mark is in the room right now. He was asking, he's like, hey, should I buy 68.80? I'm like, hey, listen, be careful. It's possible we can make new lows. And I still believe that is a possibility. But hey, it's on here. And if it plays, great. What's interesting, though, check this out. We didn't make it to 68.80. We actually made it to 68.8625, which to me was a tested 1 hour. So I wasn't interested in buying that. But here's what's funny. I said, you want to see this play and get back above 68.8650. Well, shit, we didn't get to 80. We played the 86, but here's the kicker, right? We just had the buy spot right here. And I said, look to take profits around 03. Well, we had a buy spot at 03, right? And it failed to meet the requirements on the actionable plan. But what happened? So we missed our spot. We pop up. And then we basically pulled back into the 03, and they ended up pushing up for a solid 40 points at the end of the day. And all you had to do was use a little common sense here and say, okay, we didn't quite get there, but I know 03 is massive. Ryan's been talking about it for weeks. This is our big above below level, the 03 and the 80 spot. So, okay, so we missed 80 by 6 points, but we held 03 and we popped above and retested. So get long, people, get long, do your damn thing. And this was actually how the day turned out, which was pretty awesome. So this was a very nice finale to the day, in my opinion. Yes, I would have missed this trade. I would have had to take the retest, and you would have had to have been patient and just wait for it to show itself. But this was a phenomenal retest. And so we actually had a really solid day. I had some guys in the room, and I'll just show what's up. I didn't even think about this, but I know we had some guys in the room ringing the bell hard today. The bell was going. So look at this guy. This guy, Shees is crazy. So he's an NQ trader. He did 20 G's. Unbelievable. You know, and then we have this gentleman here. It's, you know, what's funny? I post stuff on Substack Notes all the time, right? Some of it's just like, you know, filler stuff, talk about, you know, Master One Punch and, you know, just stuff to like, you know, keep the traction going. But here's a guy who gave a phenomenal review. This guy is up 250 grand by using the trade plans in 3 months. I'm not even bullshit. He bought the course and he bought the, and he subscribes to the Substack newsletter, and he's in the room. He follows, he never talks, very rarely, but he just follows my channels. This guy made 26 grand yesterday, and I don't even know what he did today. We'll find out very soon. But then we got Bryce with his wins and she's again and yada, yada, yada. But like, just check this out. I mean, this is outstanding stuff. You know what he said that he had by doing the trade plans? This guy has got an 85% win rate over the past 3 months by following the plans. If you are patient and follow Master Bailey's weekly and daily plans, you will make money. That is straight from the horse's mouth right there. I thank you so much for the fantastic review. I mean, I couldn't ask for any more. But what's funny is what I was saying is I post all these like Substack notes, and they're just kind of like filler stuff. But when I post some real shit, some like actual social proof, nobody even likes it. It's crazy. It's like, I'll talk about Bruce Lee and how he's like flow like water, like the markets, right? Or practice one punch 10,000 times. I get 20 likes on that. I post a guy who makes 250 grand, but does a trust pilot saying he's got 85% win rate, not one like. It's hilarious. It's just so funny. Social media is funny to me. So I guess people don't like actual results. They want fluff, which, hey, if that's what you guys want, you're in the wrong spot. So I'll just say that. So I know today is going to be an early day. What do we want to talk about? I got 4 minutes left. I got 4 minutes. Piper, what do you got? What do you got? We could talk about this over here. I can bring this over. Why not? So let's talk about Bitcoin one more time, guys. This thing is getting in our spot here. You know, I talked about this yesterday. I talked about ETH. I think this is going to be a fantastic buy opportunity. I am already resting down here, and I'm just waiting to get my fills. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. And I really think that this is going to be a good spot for us. But again, the more and more I think about this, you know, way to allocate my price, I will probably nibble down here with about a quarter. Yesterday, I was a little excited. I had a fantastic day yesterday. And I was ready to buy a whole Bitcoin down here. Now, after looking at little things, and I really wonder what's going to happen with this market. We've got a lot of crazy shit going on. Trump's policies are not really, you know, shining bright right now. We've got dollar devaluations and other things. I know Bitcoin is the hedge for that, which is one reason why I like this. But I have to tell you, this is a high risk asset, and it gets drilled, and it gets drilled fast. And so I'm going to kind of ease into this one a little bit around 71,000, 70,500. Then when we reclaim our 80,000, I'll probably just load into this and we'll get it going. I know my man Piper is a ETH whore. This guy is all about it. And he has been, he's a big holder. And so he probably has a different philosophy on ETH, and I can't wait to hear it, and I'll share it with you guys tomorrow. But this thing is also in trouble down here, and we'll see what happens. You know, I usually use this as a helpful gauge in terms of what Bitcoin could do, because, you know, I look at the altcoins like ETH and stuff almost like stocks that are invested in the S&P 500, right? And Bitcoin is the S&P 500. So we just kind of use them in correlation with each other. At least that's how I do it, to kind of gauge things, which is the same way that you should be doing the S&P. You look at the Mag 7, you see what they're doing. I talked about how the Mag 7 looked super weak last month. And guess what? Here we come. So, you know, are we going to continue to come down? I'm not sure. And we'll talk about that later. You know, I haven't even looked at the chart since 1 o'clock, so I need to go over that. But tomorrow's trade plan will definitely be interesting to see what happens. We had the VIX spike up like crazy. We've sold right back to our monthly pivot. So, you know, and we are sitting, actually, let me show you this. And just from a value perspective, you know, this is one of the things that I look at more than the charts. When I step away and I come back, you know, I'm always looking at, you know, my TPO here, especially my weekly TPO. So check this out. I'll give you guys a little lesson here real fast. So this is one of the things that I actually point this out in the trade plan, and I pointed out in the room, and I could actually pull this over from the room, what I was talking to people about. Yeah, why don't we do that? This is good. We got 3 minutes. I'll kind of fill this in, and this will kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. Oh, let's see what we got here. So I'm always looking to see where we could go potentially, right? So this is fantastic. So this is from the daily. You could see that we had an inefficient high yesterday right here, and they actually completed this in the overnight session. I normally don't consider that like filled. For me, this needs to be, finished off in the cash session. The overnight session is not, cash session traders don't give a shit, right? So with that being said, that was still incomplete for me, but they certainly took care of it. But here was the other thing that I really noticed, right? So here was the weekly, and this looks, when I show you where we're currently looking right now, you have this massive ledge right here. This means that price has been here many times and has been rejected. And then we have this big weekly here with a poor high. So I'm pointing it out to everybody saying, hey, listen, this is going to get fixed at some point. I thought it was going to be today. I won't bullshit you. I was coming into the market super bullish. So I thought, I'm just telling everybody, hey, listen, this is more than likely going to happen, but it didn't. So where are we at now? Well, after we had this massive sell-off, we swept the week's low, we popped back up, and look where we're at. We're kind of like right back in the middle of the shit right now. We're still currently underneath yesterday's previous weekly value area low. But if we start to rotate back into this, we can get sucked right back into value and go up. This is going to be a very important spot for us to kind of keep an eye on, because if you look at all these overlapping values. I mean, we have been sitting in this area for a long ass time, balancing back and forth. And so, I use this as a high level overview to kind of get a bigger picture. Right? It's very important. The bigger picture is always the most important. The tick chart, it's great for execution. The 5-minute, awesome. Even the 1 hour. But the big picture is really what tells us what's going to happen here. And right now we are right back in the shit. And I've said it many times before, our edge is in the edges and we're right back in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see where we open tomorrow. I'm going to wipe the charts clean and kind of go through everything tonight and get a fresh look so we can get an awesome trade plan for the morning. And again, I appreciate everyone attending today. We've got a nice crew here, so thank you for coming on. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same channel. And I'm still doing the 30-day free Substacks. All you got to do is click on the link below, put your email in, and I'll take care of the rest. And don't forget to check out Edgeville. That platform is awesome. It's worth every penny. Just click on the link. It's amazing. So again, see you guys in the morning for the trade plans and 5 p.m. tomorrow for the post-market breakdown. You guys be good. And tomorrow we conquer the markets. Enjoy.